Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's your girl Juni. So today I'll be showing you how I draft out this beautiful cup corset with asymmetric effect. So let's get to the drafting board. So the first thing I mark out is my vertical line, which are chest line, bust point, under bust, waistline, hip line. So from hip line I went down as far as 4 inches, so that would serve as the full top length. I went down as far as 4 inches, so I'll make the ducts visible. So this is the chest line, the bust points, under bust, waist, hip line, then full length. So I'm going to label though. So the next thing I'm going to mark out now is the shoulder to shoulder. I'm marking it out on the chest line, which I will mark on the starting point, which is the shoulder line. After which I'm going to connect the dots together. So after this, the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the bust measurement divide by 4. So after that, I'm going to mark the neck width and neck depth that I'll be making use of. I'm making use of 3.5 because this person have a huge neck, so I'm making use of 3.5 as the width, while the depth is 3 inches. This is for the front. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to come down by 1 inch on the shoulder. Then I'm going to connect it to the neck width. This is shoulder slant. I'm going to divide the remaining and get the midpoint. Then on the midpoint, I came in by half of an inch. This is to get the front armhole curve. Remember, the front and the back are not the same shape. So the next thing I'm going to mark out now is the horizontal lines. The first thing I'm marking is nipple to nipple. The nipple to nipple I'm working with is 8 inches divided by 2, which will give me 4 inches. Remember, this cutting should be on fold. So I'm going to mark it down to the full length, after which I'm going to insert the same thing on the chest, then connect the dots. So at this point, you are going to come up by inches that you want. For this tutorial, I'm coming up by 2 inches because I don't want the breast part, the breast area to be revealed like that. So I came up by 2 inches. So after that, I'm going to connect the lines this way. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the inches I will be using to contour the underbust. I'm making use of 1.25 at the side, while the center is 1 inches. So total of 2.25. So by the side I inserted 1.25, while at the center I inserted 1 inches. So if you're working with a smaller bust, you should come in by 1 inch on the both side. So I'm going to connect it this way. This line is stopping at the under bust, remember. So with the help of French curve, I'm going to connect it this way to make my bust curve. The curve is not touching the nipple point, so don't allow yours to touch the nipple point. If it touches the nipple point, it will make the nipple at the end of the day pointy. So come down by 1 inch so that your curve should end there. So at the upper part, I'm going to contour the upper part with 1.5 inches. So that 1.5 inches, I'll be sharing it to the both side. So I'm going to connect this part to meet the nipple point. So after marking that, the next thing is to determine where you want your curve, your V to start. So you can go down from the chest, you can make use of the chest, you can come up from bust point, you can make use of bust point, depending on how deep you want your neckline to be. So I came up from bust point, I came up by 1 inches. So from there I came in with 1/2 of an inch. I came up by 1 inch and I came in by 1/2 of an inch. So from there I'm going to connect it this way. So after that, the next thing I'm going to curve is the armhole part. So I'm going to curve it this way. So I'll be curving it to get the cup corset effect. So keep your curve ruler this way. So for the side, what I did is from the armhole to bust measurements, I divide what I get there into 2. So at the midpoint, this is where my curve will be. You can get it also this way. Whatever you have here, you add it 1 inch because the breast is more fuller by the side. So this is it. The next thing I'm going to connect is the Queen Anne effect. The yoke I'm working with is a Queen Anne effect. So from this point, I came in by 1 inch because I want it to be more tinier at the front. So I connect it to the neck width. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert the body measurements. So here I'm inserting the bust measurement divided by 4, then the dart intake, and plus inches that I'll be using to join the front and back. So on the under bust divided by 4 plus dart intake plus inches that I'll be using to join the front and back. I will do the same thing on the waistline. Waist divided by 4 plus dart intake, then plus inches that I'll be using to join the front and back. Then on the hip line, I'll be inserting the hip measurement divided by 4 plus that intake plus allowance. So whatever I have here, I will bring it down to the full length. So I'm going to connect the dots together. So after connecting the dots together, so the next thing is to mark the bust dart. The bust dart is the difference between your front half length to your back half length. So I'm marking 1.5 inches as bust dart here. So at this point, if you want your full length part to be more freer, you should add 1.5 to 2 inches at this down part. Then you connect to the waist. This is not a must. This is optional, please. So after that, I'm going to cut it out. So after cutting, at this point, I'm going to open up the bust dart. After opening it up, I'm going to contour it this way. After which we are going to use a glue or gum to hold it down. But remember to connect these lines. Remember to connect these two lines. So I'm going to cut out the remaining part. So after everything, you're going to open it up this way. Remember, I asked you to cut it on fold so that you will not make a mistake. So after opening it this way, now is to determine how your asymmetric curve will be. If it's at the front, at the left or right. Now is to insert those things. So at this point, I'm connecting from nipple to nipple to one side of the hip, whichever side, if it's right or left. So this part, I'll be connecting the hip to somewhere here. So from the waist, I'm coming down by 4 inches. So that is the point I'll be stopping. Watch carefully, you will see how I place my curve ruler, because this part is not straight, it's kind of curvy. So you can go up, you can choose to go down. So this is the part I'll be cutting out. You can choose to make it more curvy. But I'm done with mine. While cutting yours, you can make it more curvy, you can make it more up. That one depends on your choice and the style that you're working with. So for the back pattern, all my measurements ends at the hip, because for the front curving, all the curving ends at the hip. So I mark out these measurements without zip allowance. So the round body measurement divide by 4 plus the inches I'll be using to join them. So for the neck width for the back, I use 3.5. Then for the neck depth, I mark 1 inch. So from there, I came down by 1 inch also. Then for my back opening, you can make use of your nipple to nipple, you can make use of less, but here I'm making use of 3 inches because I don't want the back to be widely open. So that is the reason why I'm inserting 3. Remember, this 3 is on fold, why open up is 6 inches. It's quite open, so I'm going to cover it this way. Then I'm going to cut out the yoke. This part I will not be working with it anymore. Remember, for the back, the zipper allowance is not added before I minus. I did not add zipper allowance before I minus the 3 inches. So that is it. If you find this video helpful, please subscribe, like, share and comment on this video. See you on my next video. Bye.